Hello, and welcome to Lila's Lullabies, where we spend time exploring with Lyla, a traveler who wanders the world at her own pace while sharing her most enriching and restorative moments with you. In tonight's story, we'll follow Lyla and her friends as they explore the storybook city of Bruges, Belgium. There's nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to remember. Just settle in, get comfortable, and let yourself go. We're so glad you're here. Whenever you're ready, let's begin. The May morning light filtered through the lace curtains of their hotel room, and Lyla woke to the sound of her friend Beth already rummaging through her suitcase. "What time is it?" Marina mumbled from the other bed. 7:30. We should get moving if we want to beat the crowds to the Belfry." "The what?" Josie said, her voice muffled by her pillow. "The tower. The famous tower we're climbing. Remember?" "We're climbing a shower?" Claire mumbled, still half asleep. "Tower," Beth said, chuckling. "Tower?" Claire said, more awake now. "We're climbing a tower? Why did we agree to this?" "Because it's famous and historic and you see the whole city from the top," Beth called back. "Past me made a bad decision," Claire said. The friendship between the five of them, Lyla, Marina, Beth, Claire, and Josie, went back to college days and shared apartments and late-night conversations that had solved the world's problems. Life had scattered them across different cities, different careers, different paths, but the bond had remained, and they all looked forward to their meetups in amazing global locations. Their destination this time was Bruges, a fairy tale medieval city of canals, cobblestones, and gilded gables, known for its quiet beauty and, most importantly, chocolate. They gathered for breakfast in the hotel's small dining room. Crusty bread and cheese and ham, strong coffee, fresh orange juice. The hotel was charming, tucked on a quiet street near the center of Bruges, the kind of family-run place with uneven floors and creaky stairs and undeniable character. So Marina said, consulting her phone, "Belfry first, then Berg Square, then we've got tickets for the canal boat tour at 11. After that, we're free to wander. Maybe the Begijnhof. Definitely chocolate. Dinner in Relaxation." "Chocolate," Claire said. "Focus on the chocolate." Mark Square was a 5-minute walk from their hotel, and when they emerged into the open space, all five of them paused. The square was magnificent. Medieval buildings with stepped gables surrounding the cobblestone plaza, the Belfry Tower rising up dramatically on one side, horse-drawn carriages waiting for tourists, the May morning light making everything look like a painting. "This is ridiculously picturesque," Josie said, already taking photos. "It's like a fairy tale," Beth agreed. The belfry was indeed tall, 83 meters, the guidebook said, with 366 steps to the top. A small queue had already formed at the entrance, and they joined it, Claire looking up at the tower with visible trepidation. "Wait, how many steps?" she asked. 366, Marina said cheerfully, "one for each day of leap year." "I hate all y'all," Claire said. The climb began easily enough, a wide stone staircase spiraling upward, but after the first landing, the stairs became narrower and steeper, the ceiling lower. They climbed single file, Marina leading the way with easy confidence, then Lyla, Beth, Josie, and Claire bringing up the rear. This is fine, Claire panted after the third landing. I'm fine, totally fine. You're doing great, Beth called back encouragingly. It's not a competition. But Marina is winning. They reached the treasury room, where the city's charters and seals had once been kept, and paused to catch their breath. The room offered information about the Belfry's history, built in the 13th century as a symbol of civic freedom and power. The bells used to signal everything from fires to festivals. How much further? Josie asked. About halfway, Marina said. Of course we are, Claire muttered. The climb continued. The stairs grew steeper, the space tighter. They passed the bell chamber, where the enormous Kirillum bells hung, and could hear the mechanism that played them automatically throughout the day. At least we're getting our cardio in, Beth said. I hate cardio, Claire replied. We know, everyone else said in unison. Finally, sweaty and out of breath, they emerged onto the top platform. The view was spectacular. All of Bruges spread out below. The medieval buildings with their red roofs, the canals winding through the city, the church spires punctuating the skyline, the green countryside visible in every direction. Okay, Claire admitted, this is worth it. Right? Marina said, not even breathing hard. This is amazing. How are you not dying right now? Josie asked her. I have a new incline workout on the treadmill, Marina said with a shrug. Of course you do, Beth said, smiling. They spent 20 minutes at the top, taking photos, identifying landmarks, enjoying the breeze and the view. Other tourists came and went, but there was enough space that it never felt crowded. The descent was easier, though hard on the knees, and when they finally emerged back into Mark Square, Claire headed straight for a bench. I need a minute. We earned our chocolate today, Josie declared. That tower was no joke. Chocolate later, Marina said. Berg Square first, then the boat tour. Then chocolate. You're a taskmaster, Claire said, but she stood up and followed. Berg Square was just around the corner, a smaller, more intimate square, dominated by the town hall with its Gothic facade. The building was ornate, covered in statues and decorative stonework, every surface carved and detailed. This is from the 1300s, Beth read from her guidebook, still the functioning city hall. Bruges really leaned into the medieval thing, Josie observed. They wandered through the square, admiring the various buildings, the Basilica of the Holy Blood with its Romanesque chapel, the old civil registry with its Renaissance architecture. The square had a quieter, more dignified feel than the bustling Markt. Their canal boat tour departed from a dock just off the Diver, and they found their boat, a flat-bottomed vessel with bench seating and a guide who spoke English with a charming Flemish accent. Welcome, welcome. Please sit. Make yourselves comfortable. I am Peter, and I will show you Bruges from the best perspective, the water. The boat pushed off, gliding smoothly into the canal system. Almost immediately, the character of the city changed. From the water level, the medieval buildings seemed taller, more imposing. The bridges arched overhead, and weeping willows trailed their branches in the water. Bruges is called the Venice of the North, Pierre explained as they drifted along. Our canal system dates back to when this was a major trading port. Hard to believe now, but In the Middle Ages, Bruges was one of the most important commercial cities in Europe. They passed under low bridges. Peter warned them to duck, and everyone complied, Claire making a show of flattening herself dramatically. They glided past the backs of buildings, saw private gardens, past swans gliding alongside them. The swans are everywhere, Marina said. Gift from Austria in 1488, Peter said. We were required to keep swans on our canals as punishment for executing one of their officials. So now, centuries later, we still have swans. We have made our peace with this. The tour took 45 minutes, winding through different parts of the city, under bridges, and past landmarks. Peter pointed out historic buildings and told stories, some historical, some local legend, all entertaining. That building there, he said, pointing to a particularly beautiful medieval structure, had a ghost, supposedly, but then they renovated and put in modern plumbing, and the ghost left. Even ghosts need standards. When the tour concluded, they disembarked and found a cafe for lunch, a place with outdoor seating overlooking a quiet canal. They ordered Belgian classics, carbonade flamande, stoofvlees, frites with mayonnaise, and Trappist beer. This beer is dangerous, Beth said, sipping her Westvleteren. It's so smooth you forget it's strong. That's the Belgian way, their waiter said, overhearing. Good beer should be enjoyed, not endured. But yes, be careful. That one is 10.2%. After lunch, properly fortified, they walked to Minnewater, the Lake of Love, a peaceful park on the southern edge of the city. The lake was serene, swans drifting across its surface, trees reflecting in the still water. This is postcard perfect, Josie said. Everything in Bruges is postcard perfect, Claire pointed out. I think that's their municipal law. The Beginhof was just adjacent, a tranquil courtyard surrounded by white houses, founded in the 13th century as a community for religious women. The space was quiet and contemplative, with a lawn in the center and flowers blooming everywhere. You can feel the peace here, Lyla said quietly, like the world outside doesn't exist. That was probably the point, Marina said, a refuge from the chaos of medieval life. They walked around the courtyard slowly, reading about the Beguines, women who lived in religious community but weren't nuns, who supported themselves through labor, who created these peaceful spaces throughout Europe. From the Beginhof, they made their way to Rozenhoekkai, the most photographed spot in Bruges, a canal corner where the Belfry Tower was perfectly framed by a medieval stone bridge, the buildings reflected in the water creating a mirror image. Okay, this is crazy cool, Beth said, taking photos. It can't be real. Has Disney been here? It's centuries old, Marina pointed out. So technically, this is the original, and the postcards are the copies. They sat on the edge of the canal for a while, watching boats pass under the bridge, people feeding swans, other tourists jockeying for the perfect photo angle. Now can we have chocolate? Claire asked. Now we can have chocolate, Marina confirmed. They found a chocolatier on a nearby street, a small shop with a window display that looked like art. Inside, chocolates were arranged in neat rows: dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, filled with ganache or praline, or liqueur, shaped like shells or hearts or flowers. This is heaven, Josie breathed. The woman behind the counter smiled. "You are welcome to try some samples. We have over 80 varieties." For the next 20 minutes, they tasted chocolates, comparing flavors, debating preferences. Marina liked the dark chocolate with lavender. Beth was devoted to the pralines. Josie went for the champagne truffles. Claire declared loyalty to the simple dark chocolate squares. Lyla couldn't decide and bought an assortment. "We definitely earned this with that tower climb," Claire said, biting into a chocolate. "Absolutely," the others agreed. They wandered through more streets, poking into lace shops and bookstores, admiring the architecture, enjoying the May afternoon. The city was busy but not overwhelming, and the medieval center was car-free, so the dominant sounds were voices and footsteps, and the occasional horse-drawn carriage on the cobblestones. For dinner, they'd made reservations at Relaxation, a cozy restaurant tucked down a side street. The interior was warm and traditional, wooden beams, exposed brick, candlelight making everything glow. They were shown to a table in the corner and settled in with menus and wine. The restaurant specialized in traditional Flemish cuisine, and they ordered generously: mussels in white wine, eel in green sauce, rabbit with prunes, more frites with various sauces. "I'm going to gain 10 pounds this trip," Claire said. "We can always go back and climb the tower a few times," Beth replied. The food came in waves, course after course, each one delicious, the portions generous. The wine flowed, conversations wandered from topic to topic, and the evening unfolded with that particular pleasure that comes from good food and good company and no pressure to be anywhere else. "To Bruges," Marina said, raising her glass, "for being ridiculously beautiful." "To towers we actually climbed," Beth added. "To chocolate," Claire said, "obviously." "To us," Josie said, "for still wanting to travel together even though Marina makes us climb towers." "Hey," Marina protested, but she was laughing. Dessert was Belgian waffles with fresh strawberries and cream, and they shared 3 orders among the 5 of them. Too full to eat individual portions, but unable to resist. "I can't move," Josie declared when they'd finally finished. "We're walking it off," Marina said. "Come on, let's do a canal stroll. It's supposed to be magical at night." They paid the bill and stepped out into the May evening. The light had faded while they were inside, and Bruges at night was transformed. The buildings were lit carefully, warm light emphasizing their medieval architecture. The canals reflected the lights, creating ribbons of gold in the dark water. The cobblestones gleamed where streetlights hit them. "This is magical," Beth said softly. They walked slowly along the canals, in no particular direction, just following the water wherever it led. The city was quieter now. Most day tourists had left, and what remained was locals and overnight visitors, everyone moving at a peaceful pace. They crossed small bridges, paused to look at reflections, listened to the water lapping against stone walls. A couple sat on a bench talking quietly. A cat watched them from a windowsill. "This is one of those perfect days," Lyla said, "where everything just works out." "Agreed," Marina said. "Even the tower climb." "Especially the tower climb," Claire added. "Now that it's over and I never have to do it again." They walked until they found themselves back near their hotel, the streets now familiar after a day of exploration. But no one was quite ready to go inside, so they found a bench near a canal and sat. just watching the water and the lights and the occasional person passing by. "We should do more places like this," Josie said. "Small cities, walkable, beautiful." "You've got a whole list, don't you?" Claire said. "Obviously." They sat for a while longer, the May night cool but not cold, the city quiet around them. The spell of Bruges had worked on them. The medieval beauty, the peaceful canals, the sense of stepping into a different time. It was easy to see why people came here, why this small Belgian city had become so beloved. Eventually, the evening chills started seeping in, and they made their way back to the hotel. In their rooms, they changed into comfortable clothes and reconvened, sprawling across beds and chairs. "Best moment of the day?" Beth asked. "The view from the Belfry," Marina said. "Absolutely worth the climb." "The canal boat tour," Josie said. "Seeing the city from the water was special." "Dinner," Claire said. "Food was incredible. Company was better." "The Beginhof," Lyla added. "That quiet courtyard felt like a different world." "All of it," Beth said. "The whole day was good." They talked for a while longer, but tiredness was setting in. The tower climb, the walking, the food and wine, all catching up with them. People started yawning, and slowly they dispersed to their rooms. Lyla settled by the window, looking out at the quiet street below. A couple walked past, hand in hand. A cat prowled along a wall. The light from a cafe across the street spilled onto the cobblestones. She thought about the day, the challenge of the Belfry climb, the beauty of the canals from the boat, the peace of the Beginhof, the chocolate they'd absolutely earned, the long dinner with wine and laughter, the evening walk when the city revealed its nighttime magic. Bruges had been everything its reputation promised. Beautiful, preserved, almost impossibly picturesque. But what made the day memorable wasn't just the city. It was experiencing it together, the shared effort of the tower climb, the collective appreciation of the views, the easy conversation over dinner, the comfortable silence during the evening walk. The May night was quiet now, just the occasional distant sound of voices or footsteps on cobblestones. Bruges was settling into sleep, the lights and windows gradually going dark, the city preparing to wake up tomorrow and be beautiful all over again for the next wave of visitors. Lyla sat by the window for a while longer, feeling grateful for the day, for the city, for the friends who made these trips possible and worthwhile. Tomorrow they'd explore more, maybe rent bikes and ride through the countryside, maybe just wander through neighborhoods they hadn't seen yet. But tonight, she held this day, this perfect, playful, peaceful day in medieval Bruges, with its towers and canals and chocolates and the evening light turning the water to gold.